Jeez, it's almost empty.
All right, it is absolutely freezing. I am in the middle of nowhere, charging for like an hour because it's charging very slowly. More about that later. And I have a lot to show you and talk about. We've had a couple of milestones, I guess. So, up until now, I've been working on prototype electronics, and Shaq has been working on prototyping mechanical stuff. And we are now past this prototype phase. So what this means is that the electronics and the system that I've worked out over the past few months will actually work for everybody. You will be able to see like an accurate remaining distance on your gasometer, your GOM. You will be able to see an accurate state of charge in general. You'll be able to use the battery safely. It will be compliant with everything that has to be compliant with. It will be high voltage safety will be good. There will be diagnostics. All the PCBs that I tried out, all the main functionality works. Long story short, everything works. Now, this doesn't mean that I am ready. The electronics is still not finished. They might work, the hardware might work, and I have the main drivers, but a lot of the functionality has not been implemented yet and has not been tested yet. So, for instance, right now in my car, I have what I consider to be the MVP, the minimum viable product for the CAN bridge. This is the PCB that intercepts data from the battery to the rest of the EV subsystem. It adds up the capacity of the main battery and the extended battery, puts them together, and that's what you get to see. That's what you see in Leaf Spy as well. But the kinks haven't all quite been worked out. This PCB has to work together with the control PCB that is in the battery box, that actually just charge management and balancing of that battery, and that part I have not implemented in this car yet, so I am currently dead reckoning the capacity of the extended battery and adding that to the main battery, and it's not quite working yet. Specifically, when I accelerate very hard or when I regenerate very hard, the estimated range goes up and down quite wildly. Even though I've got the SD card drivers and everything working, there is no permanent logging on the car yet. First of all, I haven't even installed that board in my car. It's just on the bench right now, and it's doing other CAN logging. So I still have to put that in my car, pull out logs, and do stuff with that. And then we come to the charging. So I've promised on muxsan.com that the car will charge faster. Now, as anybody with a Leaf knows, right around freezing, as it is now, the car will charge very slowly, like at 15 kilowatts on a 50 kilowatt DC fast charger. And that is what my car is doing right now. It is charging very slowly. It's around like 22 kilowatts. Even though that battery in the trunk of my car should be able to accept much more. The car doesn't quite understand that it should be able to charge faster. The reason for that is that I misjudged what the car actually did. So what I thought happened in the car was that the BCM, I think, that module calculated the internal resistance of the battery, and on basis of that, it did regen and quick charge speed. But it doesn't. As it turns out, there is no internal resistance value being communicated from the battery to the main computer. It is the main computer itself that does the calculation. So that's something that I cannot intercept. So that's what I'm working on right now, and hopefully next time, I'm working on it today actually, next time I will be able to show you faster charging at low temperature. There are some more hardware things. So something very cool happened. We got our springs, our replacement springs, that will be installed under all the large battery packs and probably some of the smaller ones too. They are on my car, and as you can see in this video, it's actually that easy to install. It's about a 10-minute, 15 minutes, including the putting your car on the bridge and all. Very easy installation procedure, and they work before when I went over speed bumps, even at the rated speed or like 10 kilometers an hour slower than the rated speed, I would often hit the bump stops or get very close. Like the car would lunge down after a speed bump. So the new rear springs are slightly stiffer and slightly longer. So these new springs have been designed to as closely mimic the unmodified car rear suspension feel as possible. I think right now they're actually a little bit stiffer than they were, but it does wonders for how the car handles. Handling is just awesome now. Now the car does still sit like a centimeter lower in the rear than in the front. I am not quite sure now if we are going to change that. Um, Two reasons for that. First of all, if we buy these springs in bulk, we would actually be able to use them on both the smaller and the larger battery pack. The larger battery pack would sit like a centimeter lower. The smaller battery pack would sit a centimeter higher than normal. But both would have like massively improved handling. If we would ask for even longer springs and make this car sit exactly the same as it sat originally in the rear springs, then these springs will not be available to people with a smaller battery pack or less load on the rear axle. So yeah, it's a bit up in the air, and I would love to hear your comments on this. In slightly less important news, we have badges, and we wanted to put those on these little RF shielding bags that we would give to clients, so you wouldn't be vulnerable to the relay attack. We wanted to kind of give you a branded muxsan kilos entry shielded RF shielding pouch. So we bought some pouches from AliExpress and thought these are nice. This will fit our badges very nice. And unfortunately, as you can see here, even though the key is still in the pouch, the car opens just fine. Like it's almost like the pouch isn't there. It's definitely not shielding. So we're still searching for effective RF shielding pouches, but yeah, this one's a bust. And I think that if we're ordering, if we find the perfect one now, we're ordering, they won't be here before like the end of the year. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer, but we'll find a way to put our badges somewhere. So especially with this cold weather, I've seen a big hit on the range of the car. These are still my summer tires. I'm going to get winter tires in like an hour. That's why I'm here charging for like an hour. And I expect the consumption to go up still quite a bit. So right now, with the extender, I can say the realistic winter range is about between 170 and 180 kilometers. It might go down to like 150 in real freezing conditions, like with snow and really bad road conditions. So yeah. Of course, this also means that there are quite a few people who are, let's say, slightly impatient for the extender battery. So hopefully in December we will be able to build our first extenders for customers, and those first customers, they will be kind of guinea pigs. I'm the biggest guinea pig, obviously. I'm running around with complete prototype, like non-functioning thing that actually puts me by the side of the road once in a while. But you will be like slightly less guinea pigs, but still, there's probably only going to be our two cars, with prototype hardware. We're going to need more than that. We're going to need like 5 cars at least to iron out all the bugs and to like for people to try different types of chargers and different types of driving styles even. I don't know what's going to go wrong, but we'll find out in the first few cars. And then we'll iron out those bugs. We'll, of course, report them as best as we can. And once that's fixed, we can ramp up production quite quickly. And serve the rest of the customers. So expectation management, I said this in the last video, it's probably going to take until at least January through March for most people to get their extender.